What's up, Edsel Nation? So today I'm out here and I am changing the valve cover gaskets on Ethel because she has a little bit of smoky smoke coming out. The previous owner did a few things on her, and like right before I picked her up, but I'm not 100% sure like all the little details that she did. So I don't know when the last time it was that she changed the valve cover gaskets, so that's my first go-to. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm out here, I'm taking off her valve covers. We're gonna change out the gaskets to some new cork gaskets and see if that corrects the problem. Hopefully it does. Getting the valve cover off was a little tricky because there was some rubber like gaskets around the bolt. The cover wouldn't come off, so I had to get really in there and pull that plug out because it had been melted down into. Looked like it got really hot at some point, but I finally got that out and I was able to get the covers off. So let's take a look. So we have our Offenhauser valve covers that are just super badass. I plan on keeping these. I'm gonna try and clean them up a little bit for now. I'm gonna shine them up really good later when I work more on her aesthetic appearance. But right now you can see these are just pretty rotted and in pretty bad shape, so I'm gonna put in some new gaskets and then put everything back together and see how it goes. But right here you got the washers, and then under the washer there is that rubber plug. Now I don't know if that's something that came stock in these Offenhauser covers. I'm assuming that maybe it did. I'm not the most knowledgeable in these things. I learn as I go, but it melted into here really bad and I couldn't get it off without pulling the whole plug off. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So underneath the washer was this rubber plug and it would not come off the bolt at all. It would not pull, the cover would not come off. I tried my darndest, but ultimately I had to really dig in there and get that whole thing out, and then once I did, I was able to get it out. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So while these are off, I'm just kind of going through and checking on my rockers, making sure everything underneath the valve covers is the way it should be, because it would be really tragic to go to all this work, not check everything inside before putting everything back together. So I'm going to be doing that as well, and then hopefully changing out the gaskets, changing out everything will stop with some of the smoke that was going on. The bolts were really loose on the valve covers, like really crazy loose. I have a little bit of a power drain. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but there is something draining it for sure. So I'm just gonna keep working on this and get this squared away so I can change out my gaskets, and then I should be good to go. So this was a really fun project and I learned a lot as I went along. I faced some struggles, I faced some things that I had to figure out that didn't just all go smoothly as planned, but I figured it out as I went along. Those rubber gaskets underneath my washers were my first struggle because there was the left side that was really melted in, and I did have to pretty much destroy them to get them to let loose and come out of there. But I was really happy to see that my new cork gaskets from Rock Auto came with an entire new set of those plugs, and it was a really exciting thing to see because I didn't want to have to wait to order a new set and wait for them to arrive. I don't like putting projects on hold. I like starting them and finishing them completely. I learned a lot though, and it was a lot of fun because it's the small things that can really make big differences, like changing out gaskets. And at the end of the day, I learned a lot. I got through the project and everything worked out really well. So one more thing done. All right, so I got the valve covers polished up, cleaned up. I got my new gaskets put on. I have the valve covers put back on. I got my new rubber gaskets put in. I didn't know what those were at first. There's so many like new things for me. I have no idea like what comes off and what doesn't. So then when I got my gaskets out, they had the rubber plugs that were so melted in that I took off that I was like, I'm gonna destroy these and then I won't have them but they came with new ones. You learn something new every day. So now everything is put back on here. I just have to bolt everything down. But all in all, everything looks pretty good. I tightened some of my rockers. Everything was lubing up well. It looks really good. I'm excited to start her up and take her for a test ride. Aw, yeah. Aw, yeah.